We are tracking any cancellations and issues that you may have as you fly out of Dane County Regional or other surrounding airports just ahead.
But first, we're tracking that extreme weather that will be impacting your Thanksgiving travels. Hattie's updating us from the First Alert Weather Center ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
And a very good morning to you, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, November 27th. I'm Josh Breiter.
And I'm Leah Lynchide. We've been talking about it all morning, all week, really. The winter storm hitting us right now, Hattie.
It certainly is. We had some pretty heavy rain overnight, but the rain actually coming to an end for southern Wisconsin. Parts of our viewing area are seeing some snowflakes now. The far northwestern viewing area, parts of Richland County, also up towards Camp Douglas and Toma this morning, some snow is falling. We may see a few snowflakes here in Madison, but no accumulation is expected today. The back edge of the snow is working its way through Minnesota, so still snowing in Minneapolis and St. Paul this morning. Areas of northern Wisconsin as well getting hit pretty hard with some heavy snow. Once the precipitation comes to an end, our focus really turns towards the strong winds. Wind advisories will start at 8 o'clock this morning, and this will impact travel across the area. Take a look at your future track wind gusts through the day today. They increased this morning to around 40 miles an hour or higher through the afternoon into the early evening time frame. So if you're leaving later on today, you will definitely be dealing with these winds. It's particularly dangerous for high-profile vehicles, especially traveling east-west today. So be aware of that. Taking a look at those road conditions this morning, roads are just wet here in southern Wisconsin. No issues. Looking at the Beltline at Park Street right now, looks like travel is going at posted speeds. A few brake lights showing up on the Beltline right around Stoughton Road. Otherwise, no other accidents to report at this time. Coming up in Maine weather, we will talk about those travel impacts around the region, what you can expect later today and right into Thanksgiving.
Definitely a few days here where you're going to want to plan ahead because there's going to be a lot of changes with the weather.
That is true, and we have another storm for the weekend. So
oh my.
Stay tuned.
Of course we do. Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
So that winter storm comes as folks across the country are trying to make it to their families for Thanksgiving. More than 1,000 passengers in Denver got stranded overnight Monday. United and Delta Airlines are now waiving fees for rebooking certain flights through that city. Delta is also issuing waivers for today for people flying through Minneapolis. Our Keely Arthur is tracking the current conditions that could be impacting flights out of Dane County Regional.
She joins us now live with the latest from there. And Keely, a very busy morning for a lot of people.
It is, Josh and Leah. I am from the Chicagoland area, as you both know, so I'm a little jaded when it comes to busy airports. I'm used to O'Hare, but I've been to Dane County Regional quite a bit, and this is the busiest I really have ever seen it. All things considered, though, pretty calm. And also the flyers coming out of here, pretty lucky. Things are calm and everything really is on time right now, except for one flight that was United Flight 725. It is at 7:30 now instead of 7 o'clock. So if you were on that flight that's headed to O'Hare, be sure to check that out. And I know we're kind of zoomed in on the TSA line. It is much busier there than it is for people checking in. Of course, you want to give yourself some extra time since millions of people are traveling. But like I said, everything here okay. The real trouble is going to come for people who have any connecting flights to O'Hare. We're going to see lots of wind there. And then, of course, in Minneapolis, St. Paul, we've already seen tons of snow. I spoke to one woman who's headed to San Francisco. Sounds great, right? But her connecting flight is to O'Hare. So she is a little bit nervous. Still early in the day, though. Things are good right now. But, you know, you never know. It is the busiest travel day of the year. So we will keep you updated right here. And I'll send it back to you, too.
All right, Keely Arthur live at the Dane County Regional Airport this morning. Keely, thank you.
So happening today, we know you've heard of Black Friday. We've been talking about it all week, but you probably haven't heard of Green Wednesday. It's become the Black Friday of the cannabis industry, which is looking to cash in on the day before Thanksgiving with its own kind of holiday deals. Some stores in California are offering discounts of up to 40% for its early customers.
We have some good news this morning for Wisconsin's hemp farmers. The pilot program is now permanent. Governor Evers signed the bipartisan bill into law, aligning the state program with new requirements under the 2018 federal farm bill, while also letting Wisconsin keep control. In the first year of the hemp program, Wisconsin issued 250 growing licenses. This year, applications have increased more than tenfold.
We know Thanksgiving is about more than parades and pie, which is why politics might not be a welcome addition to the table. Psychologist Shyla Murgain says, especially in light of the aggressive language and tone used on Capitol Hill, we might want to be proactive to prevent tension with family and friends this holiday season.
Political discussions tend to erupt when there's too much free time. So instead, keep the family busy. Maybe go to a movie, do a board game, watch a football game. It's okay to disagree, and that it's not personal.
Dr. Murgain also suggests letting your family know you're taking a break from politics for the day, or at least during the meal. And if your family likes to debate and have those political discussions, maybe you try and do it during the day before alcohol gets involved. We have some more strategies from Dr. Murgain that's up on channel3000.com.
Thanksgiving marks the start of the holiday season, and for families coping with Alzheimer's disease, that can mean extra stress. The Alzheimer's Association suggests families navigate the holidays with some extra planning, and to do that, the association says to involve the person with tasks that they can manage, like packing cookies. You can also prepare other guests in advance and let them know what to expect. You might consider making new traditions like moving a holiday meal earlier in the day. You can also designate a room as a quiet room for the person to escape when a gathering gets overwhelmingly loud or distracting.
6:06 your time now. Madison police are saying they found 45 bullet casings at the scene of a shootout from earlier this week. They originally estimated there were about 3 dozen from a Sunday night incident on Madison's east side. Investigators say one of those stray bullets went into a sleeping child's bedroom, hitting their stuffed animal. No other injuries were reported. No arrests have been made. Mayor Satya Rhodes-Conway, she's commenting. She said in a statement that gun violence will not be tolerated in Madison and that the people involved showed reckless disregard to human life. She urges anyone with information to speak up and report what they know to Madison Crime Stoppers.
New this morning, the man accused of sexually assaulting female employees at a Walmart is in custody. Janesville police say Robert Szymanski was arrested Tuesday after reportedly approaching multiple employees at the Janesville Walmart and attempted to kiss them without warning. Police say he also asked a 17-year-old employee if she was a virgin before slapping her on the rear end and telling her he's not a pervert. Szymanski is facing 1 count of physical abuse of a child and is in the Rock County Jail this morning.
The Madison School District is warning parents after a staff member saw a stranger throwing candy at students on a playground. It happened at the playground at Orchard Ridge Elementary School yesterday. An email to parents says the stranger was enticing the students to approach them. The district says the suspect quickly left the area when a staff member walked toward them. Madison police are investigating that incident. In a statement, the Orchard Ridge and Toki Middle School principals said, quote, "We want you to know that our school staff are here to provide any support your child may need." The district is also reminding parents to make sure your kids never respond to strangers when they're alone, to walk with friends whenever possible, and to never accept rides, gifts, or food from someone they don't know.
Students say teachers and staff aren't doing enough to stop racism at their schools. About 100 Sun Prairie students walked out of class and marched to the school district administration building Tuesday. They're protesting after a fellow student wore blackface to a high school basketball game over the weekend. The students want their teachers and staff to do more to stop the racist incidents and educate students on more important pieces of the history of racism.
Developing this morning, Michigan lawmakers say if Wisconsin doesn't want the F-35 jets, they will gladly take them. A report from the Detroit Free Press shows a bipartisan majority of Michigan lawmakers has signed a letter to the Air Force Secretary. They want her to pick Selfridge Air National Guard Base as one of the locations to house the jets. Some residents on the north side of Madison have expressed concerns about the noise and environmental impact of those new jets.
6:08 right now. Public impeachment hearings are set to continue next week, and this time the president is invited. We'll have the latest in the ongoing inquiry ahead.
And Hattie's bringing the first alert on the weather impact to your Thanksgiving travels, along with another storm that will hit you on your way back home this weekend. That's next on News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the patio. Hood up right now because it is starting to get windy already here in the backyard weather patio. The lights are flickering as well, kind of like the status of my Christmas lights this year. Half of them work, half of them don't. But we'll get you through the forecast for today. 2 alert days are in the forecast still, one for today and then another for Sunday. The rain has pretty much come to an end, but now we turn our attention to gusty northwest winds that will impact travel today, especially if you're driving a high-profile vehicle. On Sunday, lots of travel taking place that day as well, and we're looking at windy conditions with light snow falling that may cause some slippery roads in the area as well. Now, a look at future track snow totals. There is the potential for some light snow accumulation this morning for our northwestern viewing area, mainly north and west of the Dells, anywhere from about a ½ an inch to maybe 2 inches of snow. So generally light when you look at what has fallen already with this storm system. And again, for most of the area, Dane County and points to the south and east, no snow accumulation is expected. As I mentioned, it's a wind event for us today. A wind advisory starts at 8 o'clock this morning and goes through 6 p.m. for all of southern Wisconsin. If you're headed down towards Chicago, it's a high wind warning. Winds are expected to be even stronger there. Your future track wind speed shows you that already we're dealing with around 10 to 20 mile-an-hour winds across the area. They will increase towards the lunch hour. By noon today, winds will be sustained in the 30 to 40 mile-an-hour range, gusting higher at times. You're still going to be dealing with those strong winds if you leave this afternoon for travel, mainly through the evening hours. Those winds will still be around 20 to 30 miles an hour. They're not expected to diminish until overnight tonight after midnight. But that'll set us up for a pretty quiet start for Thanksgiving morning. If you are doing a run tomorrow morning, Burby Derby or Turkey Trot taking place tomorrow morning. We're looking at temperatures in the 20s, partly sunny skies, and very light winds. So actually pretty good conditions for a run tomorrow morning. Your winter storm bulletin still in effect for the Northwoods this morning. If you're headed in that direction, it is snowing right now, and some of those darker blue shaded areas indicating some pretty heavy snow. The back edge of the snow is working its way through Minnesota, and the snow will diminish heading towards the afternoon. Temperatures this morning are already starting to drop to the west. We're at 45 here in Madison, so we're climbing, but to the west it's dropping in Prairie du Chien, 34 there, down to 31 in La Crosse. Your future track forecast model stopping at 7 o'clock this morning. Some light snow north and west of the Dells. You may see a few of those snowflakes here in Madison and points to the north towards lunchtime, but then mainly dry through the afternoon. Temperatures, though, will continue to drop through the 30s across all of southern Wisconsin today. Our extended forecast calls for a break on Thursday, and then Friday, rain developing, may initially mix with some snow, but then it'll be all rain into Saturday, changing back to some snow on Sunday with an alert day in the forecast. Here's a look at your traffic report this morning. We're going to send it over to Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. So far looking good on the Beltline. No major delays showing up heading east or westbound at this point. Other roads here in Dane County are moving well. Just plan on a few brake lights near the Stoughton Road and Verona Road ramps getting onto the Beltline. Nothing to slow you down around campus. Volume is not an issue quite yet. And there are a few slippery roads reported north of Portage and the Dells, but other main routes heading into Madison, they're moving at the usual speeds right now with no crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Josh and Hattie, thank you. Our families and friends to the north and west in Minnesota, where I'll be headed in just a few hours, are dealing with the potential for more than 10 inches of snow. This is a live look right now from our CBS affiliate in Minneapolis. They're under a winter storm warning, and much of the state is under that for the biggest November snowstorm the state has seen in nearly a decade. We already know some schools will be closed today, including the University of Minnesota, which I'll add practically never closes down due to weather, so those students get an extra day off ahead of the holiday.
Just about 95 miles north of L.A. on the west coast, a dangerous wildfire is forcing thousands of residents to evacuate. That fire is now covering more than 4,300 acres, and only 10% of it is contained. The Cave Fire is burning under some of the toughest firefighting conditions anywhere in the world. This is because there hasn't been a fire in that particular area in 29 years, meaning there's almost 3 decades worth of brush fueling the fire. Heavy rains are moving into California, though, and firefighters hope those storms will bring an end to the season.
6:16 right now. The United States is once again working with Kurdish forces to fight against ISIS in northern Syria. This comes more than a month after President Trump's decision to withdraw U.S. troops from northern Syria drew backlash from Democrats and Republicans. A statement by the combined joint task forces say, while recent tensions in northern Syria led to a brief pause in defeat, the coalition remains committed to their relentless pursuit of ISIS. It also confirms a mission was conducted last Friday, killing multiple ISIS fighters.
The impeachment proceedings against President Trump are shifting to the House Judiciary Committee next week, and President Trump is invited to attend. The committee will hold its first public impeachment hearing next Wednesday. The president is unlikely to go to those hearings, however, because he'll be in London for a NATO summit. He has until Sunday to let Congress know if he or his counsel will show up. The committee's findings are set to be released after the Thanksgiving Day recess.
The national E. coli outbreak is growing as 27 more people are sick from eating affected lettuce. That puts the total number of cases up to 67. The outbreak is impacting people in 19 states, including Wisconsin, up from 16 last week. The lettuce was grown in the Salinas, California region, so as you're shopping for your Thanksgiving meal, be sure to check where your lettuce was grown.
And you'll want to resist the urge to feed any of your furry friends who might be eyeing the Turkey Day table for some of your food. Veterinarians are warning us about a lot of foods that can be dangerous to your pets, things like turkey bones and basically any Thanksgiving dessert. To avoid any pet illnesses, vets say it's best to just keep them away from the holiday meals. Some smart advice
They're
there.
hungry too, though.
I know. I cannot say no to those big eyes staring up at me.
That's why you just have to have some treats for them, you know, so that way they can enjoy a little
Good
Thanksgiving
thought.
treat
You don't allow
too.
dogs in the house, so
No,
you don't really have to worry
yeah, we don't
about
have animals
this.
in the house, so, but.
My very neat partner over here.
Yeah, always OCD.
Okay, all right, still ahead on News 3 Now this morning, we'll introduce you to some kiddos who want to take a crack at cooking that Thanksgiving turkey. They give us some sage advice next.
It's so cute. You're going to want to stick around. And we're also continuing to track those stormy conditions as you head out the door. A little wet pumpkin outside. You might have some snow on the pumpkin in parts of the state today if you're headed there. We'll have the latest coming up.
We need to throw that guy out. Welcome back on your Thanksgiving travel day. Bit of an ominous sight out there. We were dealing with a little bit of fog this morning. Now as the rain moves out, we're looking at a bit of a windy day.
Yeah, we're going to play a game that we like to call Where's My Trash Can?
That's right. If today is your garbage day, let's just say I'm sorry right now because it is going to be very windy, but at least you're not shoveling. It could be worse, right? So where exactly is your trash can? Well, gone forever. That's what it's going to be like today. We're talking wind gusts 40 miles an hour or higher. So again, maybe try and take that trash can in as soon as the garbage crew comes by and collects the garbage. Here's a look at our forecast today. We are starting with some precipitation north of the Dells. I did look, currently some light rain falling in Baraboo and the Dells. North and west of there, though, it is falling as snow. Now, this snow is mainly going to move across the areas north of Madison. We may see a few snowflakes here, but otherwise no accumulation for Dane County, points to the south and east. Temperatures are already dropping to the north and west. With that snow falling, temperatures quickly fall to 32. We're still at 45 here in Madison. Milwaukee and Kenosha are in the 50s this morning, so quite a spread of temperatures. If your child has school today, it's going to be very windy. Look for temperatures to drop through the day, so keep in mind much colder this afternoon, especially when you factor in that wind. Wind chill will be a factor. Now our alert day forecast, we have another alert day in the forecast for Sunday. Take a look at the conditions. We're looking at another storm system moving in that will impact travel across the area. For Sunday, there could be some light snow accumulations, pretty windy conditions. I know we've all kind of been focusing on today as a huge travel day, but everyone has to get home, right? And if you're staying for the weekend, Sunday could be a little tricky.
I'm just wanting to get to my turkey day. If I can't come back, sorry guys.
You better be here on Monday.
This has been his MO all week. Like, yeah, I'll just stay in Minnesota, sure.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to northern Wisconsin as well, so we'll get back here.
We'll do it.
All right, so anyone who's hosted Thanksgiving knows there's a lot of time and energy spent making sure everything is ready in time.
Yeah, and those of us who haven't might not know just how much work there is to it, and that includes the kids, of course.
That's right. We thought it'd be fun to ask some kids at Chavez Elementary how they think it goes. Take a look at what they had to say.
How do you cook a turkey?
In the stove. Buy one from the store, and then I would cook it in the oven.
In the microwave. My mom does, but if I cook the turkey, I would probably just put it in the oven for like an hour.
Buy a turkey at the store, heat it up.
What temperature would you cook the turkey at?
50, 30 degrees.
8.
8? Oh, that sounds good.
How long would you cook a turkey for?
1 minute. 4 minutes.
A long hour. 4 hours.
And how do you know when your turkey is done?
When it looks like it's fresh.
When the stove beeps.
If it's like too warm, then put it back in the oven and make sure that it burns.
What are you most thankful for?
My family and my sister and everybody in the whole entire world.
A great family.
Having a great family and having a house. Well, a house and a great big family.
Turkey.
Oh, those such good answers.
There are hard questions
They
in
are.
there.
A lot of adults don't know the answers to those questions, but I thought it was cool. It's a hard thing to cook a turkey, but really all that matters is that family's together, right?
Oh, it really
Who cares how the
is.
turkey comes out?
I don't even know how to cook a turkey, so.
I was gonna say, have you ever cooked a turkey?
No, I haven't.
Does it take an hour? I wouldn't even know.
I don't
Takes
know.
a lot longer than that.
8 degrees sounds
All
wrong.
right, first of all, I hope by now that you've actually thawed the turkey.
Oh, I
If you
hope
haven't,
so.
you're in trouble.
You are in
I'll bring in a
trouble.
pie. That's all I can do.
Yeah, thanks to the folks at Chavez Elementary for inviting us over there. That was a lot of fun.
Very
It was super
cute.
fun.
All right, still ahead this morning, Hattie has a look at the current road conditions ahead of your travel day.
And our Keely Arthur has a quick look at some of the travel conditions at the airport. Keely, good morning.
Good morning. All is calm here at Dane County Regional, but it's a different story at surrounding airports. We're talking Chicago and Minneapolis, and we are seeing some impacts here because of it. We'll explain ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this very busy Wednesday, November 27th. I'm Josh Brighter.
And I'm Leah Lynchide. We are getting straight to Hattie McLean with the top story of the day, and that is the weather headed into Turkey Day travel, Hattie.
That's right. We have some rain and snow now showing up on the radar map in southern Wisconsin this morning. The rain has pretty much come to an end for us here in Madison, and there is still some light rain falling in the Dells, but north and west it is falling as snow. Temperatures have dropped, and there is some light to moderate snow falling over towards La Crosse up by Toma. So if you're headed northwest early this morning, you are going to run into that rain-snow line. Now, as far as accumulations, anything's going to be pretty light north of Madison. Wind is the main weather story for us today here in southern Wisconsin. Wind advisories start at 8 o'clock for the entire area. If you're traveling to Chicago, you should be aware that there's a high wind warning going into effect at 9 o'clock in the morning for that region. Here's a look at your outdoor forecast. We're looking at temperatures generally in the 40s right now here in Madison, but we will fall through the day back into the 30s. So it's the warmest time of the day right now. We are looking at the travel conditions across the region, and again, just wet roads here for southern Wisconsin. A few brake lights showing up on the belt line at Stoughton Road. Otherwise, things pretty quiet at this hour. Again, plan some extra time to get to your destination today. Here's the top 3 travel hazards that you'll likely encounter across the area. Winds will be very strong, especially for high-profile vehicles, so be aware of that. 2 hands on the wheel at all times. If you're headed north, expect snow-covered and slippery roads. And then, of course, just the amount of traffic on the road. The heavy volume will cause you some delays today. So stay alert on the roads and be safe. That's your first alert forecast.
Thank you very much, Hattie. So no snow here in Madison means if you've got a flight out of town today, you're probably going to be okay.
But getting to your destination might depend on where your connecting flights are. Keely Arthur is here now to explain why there might still be some travel headaches today. Keely, good morning to you.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Yes, all is calm here at Dane County Regional because relatively speaking, the weather is calm. I know it's a little windy, but it's going to be much windier in Chicago. And then, of course, the snow over in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And we're seeing the ripple effects of that impact flights here. Now, in terms of arrivals, United 4566 was supposed to arrive around 9 a.m. It's going to be about 40 minutes delayed getting here. And then United 4517 is now going to get in at 11:32 rather than 11:15. Not bad at all. In terms of departures, Delta flight 1386 is now leaving at 7 a.m. It was supposed to leave much earlier. They were supposed to be up in the air right now. And then United 725 is now leaving at 7:30 rather than 7 a.m. It's pretty quiet here, so it is calm, and we were up over in the security line area. Mark Schilling, our photographer, went to go check it out, and he called it thick. So there is a bit of a delay in terms of security lines. So you want to get here early since it is very early in the day. A lot could change as that weather in our surrounding neighboring airports could impact those connecting flights for travelers coming out of Dane County Regional. We have links to Dane County. We have links to Minneapolis and Chicago up on our website, so you can easily check your flights and just be thankful and grateful that you get to see your family, pack your patience, and I'll send it back to you too.
Some good advice. Keely Arthur making sure we're safe on our holiday travels. Thank you very much, Keely.
So even though we're mostly seeing rain in our area, Dane County is getting ready for future snow. $2 million in the county budget is helping fund tow plows. They're able to clear 2 lanes of a highway in one single pass. It's relatively new equipment already being used in just a handful of places across the state. County Executive Joe Parisi says the need for snowplows has increased with the growing population and additional multi-lane highways.
The city of Madison will use a $7 million federal grant to create a satellite facility that will help support the Metro bus expansion. They'll be pairing it with a $5 million local match to build the facility on part of the former Oscar Mayer property. City officials say Metro's existing East Washington Avenue facility was built 100 years ago to store 160 buses, but right now 218 are packed in there. This new facility will help the city get ready for its bus rapid transit project we've been talking about. It will also have charging stations for the city's all-electric bus fleet. That's set to be here by 2023. 6:34 now. As many get ready to shop this holiday season, tech gadgets are on a lot of lists, but are we becoming addicted to our devices? Tonight, we're going to tell you about a first-of-its-kind rehab center treating people so badly addicted to their devices it has ruined their lives. Our very own Eric Franke shows us how the 5-acre retreat known as Restart gets them on the road to recovery.
First, they need to be away from screens, and they are away from screens for a minimum of 2 months. And then during that time, we're really building the foundations of health.
If there are negative outcomes, there are kind of real damage happening to someone's life in terms of their academic success, their social relationships, then there's room to be concerned.
We will also hear from a UW-Madison researcher who studies the impact video games have on our brains, how to tell if your child might be developing an addiction, and how it might not be as bad as you think. That story is coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
6:35 right now. Coming up in the morning sprint, we've got some good news for Wisconsin's hemp farmers.
And we're telling you about a holiday contest that seems almost impossible to win. You're going to want to catch that. Stick with us. You're watching News 3 Now this morning. All right, we always ask you to share your morning with us this time of morning. And Mr. Jerry Davis thought Josh and I looked like a couple of turkeys. So he sent us this picture. He said, "Happy Thanksgiving to Hattie, Josh, and Leah." But I mean, we waddle around a little bit, have some fun.
A lot of mornings we are a couple of turkeys.
Yeah.
Just ask the crew behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's a beautiful photo, though, I will say.
Incredible shot there, and I think a lot of people will be enjoying their turkey over the coming days.
Very appropriate photo for the day. Thanks so much for sharing, Jerry.
If you've got a photo you'd like to share, just send it to us over on our Facebook page.
So we have been keeping you updated on a pretty big winter storm impacting millions across the area.
That includes our friends in western Wisconsin. Alec Janikopoulos from our sister station in La Crosse joins us live to show us how things are looking if you're heading in that direction like me today. Alec, good morning to you.
You look cold, Alec.
Josh and Leah, the question here was, when would that rain that we saw earlier afternoon yesterday turn into snow? The rain you guys are seeing as opposed to the snow we're seeing in the Twin Cities, we're smack in the middle. And we saw that snow around 3 hours ago, and it hasn't gone anywhere. The wind has picked up, and it's made driving conditions here in La Crosse less than ideal. We've seen 2 accidents on 2 major interstates coming in to the area, and road crews are hard at work trying to make sure that the streets are as clean as they can be. But you see the snow here, that's going to make it hard for them to actually fully make sure it's a safe commute. So if you do have family you want to visit out here in La Crosse or the Cooley region, it might be a safe bet to take your time. This storm, it's expected to taper off around noon, so you might want to plan your travel for then. But when you do get here and you have some family members who want to partake in the snowball fight, want to make a snowman, the snow here is perfect. It's excellent packing snow, so it's great for any winter activities as long as those activities aren't driving. Reporting live here from Rose Street, I'm Alec Janikopoulos.
Alec, having a little bit of fun in the winter snow. You can go inside, though. Thank you very much.
All right, as you get ready for Thanksgiving, folks are prepping to play a game where the only way to win is by not hearing a specific Christmas song.
We're telling you the rules of the Little Drummer Boy Challenge. The game runs from midnight on Black Friday until December 23rd, and all you have to do is make it until then without hearing the song The Little Drummer Boy, which includes any parody, interpretation, even a note of the song. If you hear it, you're out.
And don't bother trying to trap your friends who are playing. If you trick someone into listening to the song, you're the one who is out.
So if I call you and I play the song over the phone, I'm out?
I guess so.
Huh.
I do love that song, too.
I know. Why would I not want to listen to that song? That might be one of my favorites.
That's a classic right there.
Oh, I always love that one in church.
Have you started listening to the Christmas songs yet?
I haven't. I always wait until Thanksgiving.
Oh, you're one of those people.
I'm a Grinch. Josh, meanwhile, has his full tree up. He's got his songs playing.
Every morning on my way to work.
Oh, boy. He's
That's why
bringing
I
the
have a
holiday
smile
cheer.
every day.
That's true. All right, still ahead, we are continuing to update you on that weather that will impact your Thanksgiving travel here in Wisconsin and across the country. Hattie has her first alert update. That's coming up next.
But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV and maybe wish them a happy birthday through song.
Nope.
Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. Just cloudy skies here in Madison. No issues seeing the capital this morning. And we're not shoveling, but some people are definitely shoveling this morning. Take a look at some of the snow totals that I've been able to collect from this particular storm. Estes Park, Colorado, over 31 inches of snow. That's west of Denver, up at a higher elevation, but still, we're talking over 2 feet of snow. Denver International picked up almost 10 inches of snow, over 7 inches in St. Paul, Minnesota. Rhinelander on the high side of things as well, almost 6 inches there. And then those amounts go down elsewhere across Minnesota and back into South Dakota. But some pretty heavy snow recorded with this particular storm. For us here in southern Wisconsin, all rain, some heavy rain overnight. You may have heard that, adding up to over an inch through south central Wisconsin. Lighter amounts definitely in the southwestern corner of the state and then into southeastern Wisconsin. Now this morning, the rain continues for areas north of Madison. In the Dells, still some light rain falling, but you can see that rain snow line getting pretty close to the Dells. It will work its way towards the east through the morning, and you can see that the snow is wrapping around a little bit behind this storm system. We may see some snowflakes yet here in Madison, but I'm not calling for any accumulation. Now the back edge of the snow is still further back to the west, back of the Twin Cities metro area, but again, as the storm system pulls out of the region pretty quickly this morning, snow and rain will diminish, and then we'll turn our attention to the strong winds. Still an alert day today, even though the rain has come to an end for southern Wisconsin. It's those northwesterly winds that will be gusting higher than 40 miles an hour this afternoon, likely slowing travel down across the region. Then on Sunday, keep that time frame in mind. If you're traveling again across the area, another storm may bring some light accumulating snow to the region. Your wind warnings and advisories, it's a wind advisory starting at 8 o'clock for all of southern Wisconsin. To the south, where stronger winds are expected, it's a high wind warning. Take a look at your future track wind gusts. Now it's getting a little windy outside right now, but these numbers, nothing like they'll be later on this afternoon. By 10 o'clock this morning, winds gusting to around 30 miles an hour here in Madison, closer to 40 miles for southwestern Wisconsin. And as we put this map into motion towards the lunch hour, you see those 40-plus-mile-an-hour wind gusts across the southern part of the state. Those wind gusts stay strong even through the evening. Here's 5 p.m., still gusting above 35 miles an hour. The winds will gradually diminish tonight, but probably not until after midnight. So it'll be much quieter tomorrow morning. Here's a look at our current temperatures. We're at 45 here in Madison, but quite a change in temps to the north and west where that snow is falling. Temperatures quickly drop to around 32 degrees. So your future track forecast model, again, bringing that snow through our northern viewing areas through the lunch hour today. Note the temperatures going in the wrong direction. We will fall through the day down into the 30s and eventually into the 20s overnight tonight. So take a look at that extended forecast then. We have a pretty quiet day on Thursday for Thanksgiving. Actually some sunshine in the morning, high of 36 in the afternoon. Storm system number 2 then arrives on Friday and impacts the area through the weekend. First rain, then changing to snow on Sunday. Looking ahead to next week though, looks pretty quiet. Take a look at, oh my gosh, Izzy in Madison.
What a beautiful dog.
Well, I'm kind of biased to that name. I love that name.
I was going to say, I thought it was going to be a picture of your daughter.
Oh, what a cutie.
Thank you very much,
Protect Izzy today.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next. It is 6:52, time for the morning sprint to get you ready for the winter weather impacting your Thanksgiving Day travel.
Keely Arthur is keeping us updated on any flights impacted, but we start with Hattie and her first alert. Hi, Hattie.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. As you head out the door this morning, the rain has come to an end here in Madison. Still some rain briefly in the Dells before it is likely to change over to some snow. The snow will work its way across southern Wisconsin, staying mainly north of Madison. May see a few snowflakes here, but no accumulation for Dane County. Some light snow accumulations yet this morning, though, for areas to the north and west. It's going to be very windy through the day. That'll cause falling temperatures and dangerous travel conditions, especially for high-profile vehicles. Take a look at these wind speeds in excess of 20 miles an hour, gusting higher than 40 miles an hour at times.
Thank you very much, Hattie. Winter weather is impacting across the country, really throughout the day here, as heavy snow and wind causes delays on one of the busiest travel days of the year. Snow continued to track from the Central Plains to the upper Midwest, while a bomb cyclone pummeled California and Oregon. Hundreds of miles of interstate were closed in Colorado and Wyoming, and Denver International Airport was forced to cancel about 30% of its flights yesterday.
Lots to be thankful for out of Dane County Regional Airport, as the weather is okay, but we are seeing cancellations in Minneapolis and Chicago, and that is creating ripple effects in our commuters. In terms of departure delays, Delta Flight 1386 now leaving about a half hour behind schedule, and then United 725 leaving at 7:30 to Chicago. And in terms of arrivals, some delays for flights coming in out of Chicago. United 4566 now at 9:38 a.m. and then United 4517 now at 11:32. All of this, of course, is to blame on the weather. Lots of snow in Minneapolis and wind in Chicago. We have links to any potential arrivals or departure delays up on our website. Josh?
Keely, thank you. Dane County is getting ready for future snow. $2 million in the county budget is helping fund tow plows. They're able to clear 2 lanes of a highway in one single pass. It's relatively new equipment that's already being used in just a handful of places across the state. County Executive Joe Parisi says the need for snowplows has increased with the growing population and additional multi-lane highways.
Michigan says if Wisconsin doesn't want those F-35 jets, they will gladly take them. A report from the Detroit Free Press shows a bipartisan majority of Michigan lawmakers are asking the Air Force to pick a nearby base to house the jets. Some residents on the north side of Madison have expressed concerns about the noise and environmental impacts of those planes.
Madison police are now saying they've found 45 bullet casings at the scene of a shootout from earlier this week. They originally estimated there are around 3 dozen from a Sunday incident on Madison's east side. Investigators say one of the stray bullets went into a sleeping child's bedroom, hitting their stuffed animal. No other injuries were reported and no arrests have been made yet.
The man accused of sexually assaulting female employees at a local Walmart is in custody. Janesville police say Robert Sinskamansky was arrested Tuesday after reportedly approaching multiple employees at the Janesville location and attempting to kiss them without warning. That man is facing 1 count of physical abuse of a child and is in the Rock County Jail this morning.
About 100 Sun Prairie students walked out of class and marched to the school district administration building Tuesday. They're protesting after a fellow student wore blackface to a high school basketball game over the weekend. The students want their teachers and staff to do more to stop the racist incidents and educate students on important pieces of history of racism.
Breaking news out of Texas overnight, where a plant that produces chemical and petroleum-based products exploded, blowing out windows of nearby homes. Take a look at the video right there. Authorities say it happened around 1 a.m., but no one was hurt. The cause of that explosion is still unknown as crews try to contain the fire this morning.
The pilot program is now permanent for Wisconsin's hemp farmers. Governor Evers signed the bipartisan bill into law, aligning the state program with new requirements under the 2018 federal farm bill, while also letting Wisconsin keep control. In the first year of the hemp program, Wisconsin issued 250 growing licenses. This year, applications have increased more than tenfold.
People in Wisconsin are still getting sick from a national E. coli outbreak due to romaine lettuce. The total number of cases across the country is up to 67. 21 of those are in our state. The lettuce was grown in the Salinas, California region.
It is 6:56. Josh Tim has a final look at your first alert traffic. Good morning, Josh.
Morning, guys. Still moving all right on the Beltline so far. Really nothing to slow you down yet in either direction at this point. Inbound side of John Olin is starting to tap the brakes, though, at Olin Avenue as you head and make your way into downtown Madison. There are a few brake lights on Verona Road hopping onto the Beltline, but other main routes leading into Madison, they're moving along at the usual speeds right now with no major crashes or delays. Your First Alert Traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thanks, Josh.
And we hope you all stay safe on the roads today. Take a look at our sky camera shot. You can see it moving around with the wind already here on the west side of town. It's going to get very windy from here on out through the rest of the day. Temperatures are going to fall back into the 30s and continue to drop this afternoon. Keep this in mind if you're hitting the roads. Wind advisory starts at 8 and goes until 6 o'clock this evening. That's when we're talking about the strongest winds gusting higher than 40 miles an hour at times.
All right, it's gonna be a crazy day, Hattie. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thanks so much for joining us this morning, folks. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Take your time getting home. We'll see you back here Monday.